Hello everybody and welcome to my podcast. I'm Danny. I'm the developer of the SpiritVox app and a bunch of other paranormal apps on Google Play, available worldwide. And I'm making this podcast today just to answer some questions, show you some tricks and tips, helpful things like that. Give some shout outs and some love to people out there in the world. Hello, people all around the world. Just for the record, I've met some, ever since I started this, gotten involved in the paranormal world like this, I've met some really amazing people. So, you guys are all wonderful people. Alright, so, to start out with, I got some show notes over here. Okay, airplane mode. That's something I want to talk about real quick. If you're using my device, my apps on your device, and you got a phone, tablet, anything that has any kind of data connection, what you want to do is basically just open up your home screen or wherever your settings are for the phone. If you're using I recommend this for all my apps. If you're using a handheld device for paranormal research, then you should have it in wireless, completely wireless off, airplane mode, data off, and you usually have to tick both things. A lot of people don't realize that. You have to turn off your Wi-Fi, and you also have to click disable. I'll show you. You click your settings, and my phone's been acting a little funky the last couple of days, so hopefully I'll make it through all this without it giving me a hassle. But I already have it checked, but you'll see airplane mode, check that. It's at the top usually, I guess, and it'll say Wi-Fi, scanning, Wi-Fi off. I'm just going to double check, I don't know why it says scanning. Like I said, my phone has been acting kind of strange. So okay, Wi-Fi is off. So basically, I recommend this for a lot of reasons, but it's mostly because your phone does, it's a computer. It's a supercomputer almost when you think about it, that you hold in your hand. Whether you have an iPhone or an Android device, anything, even an iPod for that matter. But in this phone in particular, it was the best phone I could get my hands on about 7 months ago or something like that. And it's a decent phone. It's an HTC. And I've tested my apps on a lot of stuff, and they'll run on low-end phones, but I like to have a nice speedy phone. And this thing here, like any other device, it's got more computing power than probably 1,000 times more, maybe, I don't know what, than NASA had in the 60s for the Apollo missions. Just an enormous amount more. All right, so let's see here, airplane mode, and I'm going to launch SpiritVox, just because it leads into the next part of this little helpful tip. So basically, you've got your device in airplane mode. It doesn't matter so much for SpiritVox, I guess. I mean, I really recommend it. Maybe the wireless would help. Maybe some people out there have been using it and got results, and they never turned on airplane mode. I'd like to hear, other people's opinions on that. Please let me know. And on that note, I'm also really easy to get a hold of, guys. Real easy to find. If you look on Twitter, you'll find me, and YouTube as well, obviously. So anyway, I've got SpiritVox open here, and what I wanted to do is show you, I went to Rite Aid not long ago, and I spent, I don't know what it was, $13, $14 on this folding laptop. It's USB powered. It's USB. It's got a DC in, and it also takes 4 AA batteries, which I have in right now. And it's got a little cover on it, and you flip open the cover, something around here, and it just opens up, and it's got like a stand underneath. And this cover kind of irritates me, so I don't know if I'd leave this on. I don't know if the button would probably get turned. It'd probably get turned on by accident when you stuff it into a road case or something. But anyway, for the sake of this, I just been folding it over when I use it, and I use this as an extension speaker for SpiritVox and for SpiritVox Ultra. And I found it at it was a Walgreens pharmacy. I don't know, you might not have those in your neck of the woods, but up here in New England, there's Walgreens everywhere. But you can probably get the same thing at Big Lots or the Wawa, any of that stuff, or depending where you're at. So anyway, you just click the thing on, and it's powered by 4 AA's. I crank it as loud as it goes. I make sure my phone, my media volume is as high as it's going to go, and off she goes. Huh. It helps if you plug the speaker in all the way. Here we go. As you say, that's awfully quiet. So it gives some volume to this, and it's completely portable. And there's other solutions out there that aren't this big, but this is what I happened to find that day. So there's great little things, little speakers, bomb speakers you can get at Walmart. They put them in the counter when you're checking out. I think they cost $6.99 or $5.99. Before anybody interrupts us here with ITC. But yeah, you can get them in the aisle of Walmart, and they're just a tiny little thing that you put on the into your headphone jack, and they're pretty loud, and I don't even think they need any batteries. But I wanted something that's pretty loud, so I started using it for SpiritVox Ultra Edition. And in case you don't know about Ultra Edition, what it is it's a version of SpiritVox, sort of. It's more experimental, I guess. Not that SpiritVox isn't experimental, but this is more in the way of people that are already, diving deep into this type of research and this type of work, and in the paranormal field and in the audio world. So anyway, I've been using it a lot for that, because you're not going to hear it well over this webcam, but it actually pushes some bass. I can feel it. I can feel it vibrating. I can feel it right through the center of my wrist, right up my arm, to my shoulder. It's pumping out some decent frequencies. And then in the ultrasonic, wow! I don't know if you guys could see that, but that was pretty good. I liked that. The very second I pressed that ultrasonic play button, the lights dimmed. I hope that came out in the video, because that was wonderful. Probably a coincidence, but screensaver, it scared the hell out of me too. God. I'll tell you, people have given me some great stories and stuff about using my apps, and they freak me out too, you guys. Things I get sometimes when I'm testing these things out, I get a little nervous. It's a little harder to go to sleep that night. Cower under the blanket. I won't lie. It's happened, and if you say it hasn't happened to you, you're a liar. So, alright, so I showed you the external speaker. You can use anything that works, but I do recommend using it. But I also have had reports from multiple people getting results using SpiritVox with headphones, which I'd never tried. Okay, and excuse me. Speaking of headphones, while I'm on the subject, my app Spephone, which is a real-time EVP recorder. What you need with Spephone here is a good set of headphones. That's the better the headphones. Yeah, I mean, you need the absolute best headphones that you can get a hold of to use this application to its utmost effectiveness. I mean, you could use iPod earbuds with this, and it would be fine, but the best way to do it is a nice, Beats by Dre, anything like that would be fine. What I use is a battery. I've had these things for 10 years at least, and they're ATH M40FS by Audio Technica, and I like them. So basically, you put these guys on. They're real big headphones. These are also studio monitor headphones, so they don't add any bass to the mix. They don't add any high frequencies. They don't add any EQ or anything like that. They're a flat response speaker in them, so they're pretty good for that. So anyway, using Spephone, it's a real-time EVP recorder that you can put on your Android device, and at some point soon, an iPhone as well. And basically, what you do the way that it works is you have to plug headphones in, because what you're hearing in your headphones is exactly what your microphone is recording to your SD card in real time. And I say real time. There can be a slight echo, but for the most part, on a halfway decent device, it should run real smooth. And the delay it only takes you a couple of minutes to get used to the slightest delay. It's nothing like the old analog real-time EVP stuff, and it's nothing like the hardware ones, really, because it's software. But anyway, I can hit record right here, and you can see what I'm saying. Get this right up there. Is recorded in the exact time. So you can see that green line moving. When that green line moves, that is showing you, it's a visual representation, right, of what's being recorded to your SD card. And that, you know, if you go online and you want to buy that in a hardware device that doesn't do anything else, that doesn't do your Twitter and your Facebook, doesn't do your Twitters and your fancy fake Facebooks, sorry, it's so much. They're like $178, I think, is the cheapest. Somebody will probably call me out on that and correct me, but I'm recording right now. I can hear it. So yeah, if something was to chime in through the device and leave an impression coming out of the headphones, you're hearing it in your ears. If it's written to the recorder, you're going to know. You're going to hear it right then and there. You're not going to wait till the next morning or a week later when you have the night off to review your evidence, or whatever the case may be, even if you're doing it in the field, on site. With this, it's while it's happening. So you can have other devices going. You can be recording on whatever you normally record with, but you can also be recording and monitoring in real time with this. I mean, I always recommend, and I think most people would know this, that you should always use multiple devices. I mean, you need to have evidence that, you know, pieces of evidence that corroborate one another, and a great way to do that is to know while it's happening, so you can mark your recordings, mark your video, mark everything, let everybody know right then and there. I just heard a response to that question, or I just heard, you know, did one of you guys just sigh or whatever. So anyway, that is the idea behind Spephone. It's a real-time EVP recorder. I don't think there's any other app out there that works like that. And as far as using it in the field goes, I would really recommend trying it out if you've never tried a real-time EVP session before, because it does add another layer to it, because you're actually right there, you're interacting. So if you happen to hear something, it's happening right then and there. So and if you're a user of Spephone, I'd really like to hear how you use it, how long you usually run sessions for, what kind of results you've gotten, things like that, and how those results compare to other ways that you've used for communication or research. So, all right, that's that part of this podcast. The next part of the podcast is basically to talk about some wonderful things out in the internet. If you don't know already, I've got a couple of new apps out, but I just put out a free one called Spooky Ghost Box, and it's available on Google Play, and it's a free app, and it's a gag version. It's a silly version of the SpiritVox, and you press play on it in one mode, and you'll get some random, they're cheesy sounding voices, and I did that on purpose. I don't want somebody, you know, doing something silly with a silly version of the app. And then it has another mode that's a scary mode, and if you put it on that, I'm not going to tell you what it does, but it's worked pretty well. It's scaring a few people apparently, and I've gotten some people pretty good with it. I try to get everybody that I know at least once with it. So anyway, that's available. If you just search, the best thing to do if you want to find any of my applications is to just go on to Google Play and just search SpiritVox, SpiritVox, all one word. Just search SpiritVox, and all of my paranormal apps should come up in that search. Also, while I'm speaking about my apps, Ghost Hunters Multimeter, just to touch on that real quick, just so you guys know, to answer some questions, which is where I'm heading with all this. Ghost Hunter Multimeter, when you install that application onto your phone, you basically have access to the sensors that it's asking for, or you don't have the sensors in your phone. So there's not a whole lot I can do with that. I mean, my own main phone, my own main device, my LED won't work as a flashlight. It's a bug in the hardware of the phone, and I haven't bothered to flash it or anything like that. It's just a stock phone, and which I prefer for testing and all that. So yeah, anyway, Ghost Hunter Multimeter, I wanted to touch on that in depth. I decided to pause the recording and get it going here. Basically, you'll see on my phone, everything works fine, except my torch won't work on this device. It just will absolutely not work. It's a fault in the hardware of the phone, how it talks to the software of the phone. So, and I haven't bothered to update this. It's a stock phone, and I like it like that. And then my EMF sensor works almost, I think, almost every device, like a phone, or most tablets have them. The cheaper tablets, the ones you get at Big Lots and stuff like that for $100, they generally don't have them. I have one here on my desk that runs ice cream sandwich, and this thing is, you know, $100 Big Lots tablet, and it doesn't have any sensors in it whatsoever, except for an accelerometer for games. That's really it, and touch, obviously. So yeah, when you use this app, it can only do, like, if you, for example, if you use it on a device such as this tablet that doesn't have a camera, when you hit quick pick, it's not going to work. It's just going to say the camera not found, error, and that's as far as you can take it. So if you bought it and you're getting a no temp sensor reading, there's I try to explain that in the description of the application, and it works out that most people have most of the sensors, but there's a few of you out there that don't, and I apologize. If it's really that big of a problem, I always refund people if they're unhappy with my application. So anyway, the torch, for example, I click torch, it says turn on LED torch, and it'll just say flash not available. So for some reason the app can't control my LED. I've got it to work on other devices, but this one in particular, it's a common phone, HTC, but I think updates fix it, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay. Alright, on to a different subject. Big shout out to all my friends in the UK. I'm starting to think about planning a 39th birthday present for myself, a trip to London. So you guys out there, hi all of you, I look forward to meeting you and hope that it all works out. So I'll be looking for accommodations if anybody wants to put up a really hairy tattooed man in London for a couple of nights. That'd be grand. Also, shout out to a new friend of mine who is known as Kester on Twitter. So I think if you just search Kester, you'll find him in YouTube. He should be under my likes or something like that on my YouTube channel. And he's been using SpiritVox, and a member of his team got some good results with it. And he's been doing some EVPs work for a while on investigations. And I offered to help people out tonight on Twitter if they were looking for help boosting the frequencies and cutting out frequencies and enhancing an EVP that they caught so we could hear it a little clearer or whatever. So I worked on an EVP for him earlier this afternoon, and it was good. It's a good catch, and I got to slice it all up just right so that I'll let you hear it. Hopefully it comes through on this. If you can, it's on my SoundCloud, which is SpiritVox, all one word, and you can find me on SoundCloud that way. So let's see here. And if you wonder what the noise is in the background, it's my air conditioner. It's hot. I'm not going to have that thing off. So here we go. This is the EVP.
Governor Smith.
Oh. That's a good one too, but no, we're not talking about
Governor Smith.
It's hard to hear on this. You'll have to go onto the SoundCloud to really appreciate it. Use some headphones. You don't even need them though. It comes through clear as day. It was a muddled, hissy, sounds like someone breathing, and then something after it that I can't make out, and somebody else is talking over it, so it's a little difficult to get in there. But one of them is definitely not. I listened to the entire recording. I cleaned out a few seconds of it to use here. It's just a little snippet, and you can hear them talking. It doesn't sound like they're actually in the middle of... I'm sure they're investigating, but I don't know if there was an actual EVP session going, or they just happened to have a recorder running and they found it reviewing later. I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure that Kester could answer that for me. But anyway, I had a lot of fun with that EVP, and if you're out there and you have EVPs and you want them cleaned up, I'll do it for you. I don't mind at all. I think it's fun, and I'm a pro audio engineer, and I've been editing audio since the analog days, since before computers. Not to date myself, but alright. And then the other one I wanted to show you was actually the one that started playing here by accident. This is an EVP that I got using SpiritVox Ultra Edition at a tomb in a cemetery in the daytime here in Manchester, New Hampshire. And I had Spephone running, I had SpiritVox Ultra Edition running, and I caught a very strange voice. This is also up on SoundCloud.
Governor Smith. And another strange noise from inside.
Okay, so there was a voice. I didn't hear it at the time, and excuse my language, but it said, to me, it sounds like, not fucking Smith. So it was somebody saying, like, that's not me you're talking to, motherfucker. You know, it was pretty intense, and immediately after it happened, I didn't know at the time, but on the recording, I put these two pieces together. I was hearing strange noises from inside this tomb that's been locked up for forever and ever. And, you know, who knows? It could be rats or pigeons or whatever. I looked around. I didn't see any signs of possums or wildlife, squirrels, anything, right, you know, using it as a nest. But who knows what happens underground. So anyway, I did hear some noises, and I got one right after I heard that voice, or, you know, right on recording after it's there. It's, you know, you hear the voice on there, and there's a second or two, if that, and then you hear me say, I just heard another strange voice inside the tomb. And this is also the same session that I got results with SpiritVox. I got EVPs. I felt very strange there, and I've been there before. I was there a few years ago on a casual. I used to work close to it, and I'd go there for walks on my lunch break because it's a beautiful cemetery, and have a cigarette and wander around. And I caught some strange activity then. I didn't get EVPs in that one, but I did get some strange sensations, and I heard some strange noises also coming from near this tomb. It wasn't directly in it. There's an iron gate near it, and I swear I heard the iron gate over and over again, opening and closing. There was no wind or anything, and I went up and debunked it and wiggled the gate and all that. So anyway, that's what I'm all about. I'm all about you guys out there doing this, doing the research, and I'm willing to help in any way that I can, because I do this from a clinical point of view as much as I can, because I'm interested in audio, and I'm interested in magnetic fields, and the way, what the nature of reality is, really is what this is for me, is to help figure out what the nature of reality is. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed my podcast. I know it's a little scatterbrained, but if you know me, you know what I've been through lately, so I'm happy to be sitting here in front of my grand office, and I have everything I need set up to work and get the job done here. So I want to thank all you guys for my support. Kit Kat down in Australia, sweetheart, I hope you feel better. I hope everything's good for you, and that you do alright. Worry about you, kiddo. So all you guys out there in Twitter land, you know that I love you, and I have the utmost respect for all of you guys. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.